Hello friends, welcome to my channel Know the Indian Law. So today let us have a discussion on the legal principles governing medical negligence committed by medical professionals. So let us also look at the procedure that the law lays down for a victim of medical negligence to hold the doctor responsible for all the injuries that he has suffered and bring the doctor to justice in a court of law. Now, the World Health Organization every year on September 17th celebrates what is called as the Patient Safety Day. Now, the primary purpose with which this day is celebrated is to create awareness among the world population about the rights available to victims of medical negligence. Now, the World Health Organization in its reports say that on each year, about 136 million people suffer because of errors committed by medical professionals. Now, these errors that are committed by doctors could be in various forms. It could be in the form of wrong prescription of medicine given by the doctor, or it could be in the way the treatment is given to a patient, or the error could be in the very nature of diagnosis of an ailment by a doctor. A doctor or a medical professional is said to have committed medical negligence when he or she violates or falls below what we in legal terms call as medical standard of care. Now, this does not mean that a patient can hold a doctor responsible for every complication the patient may suffer because of medical prescription or medical surgery done on him, which could be because of medical complications which may already exist in the patient. Now, before we move on to look at essential conditions that the law lays down in every claim for medical negligence, let us understand the concept of informed consent under law. Now, when a doctor wants to perform a medical procedure on a patient, the doctor is under a legal obligation to take the permission of the patient in this regard. Now, this process of taking permission from the patient is what is known as consent. But before the patient gives his permission to perform medical surgery, the doctor is under a further obligation to explain to the patient every risk that is associated with the procedure. Now, this is called informed consent. For an informed consent to be valid in the eyes of law, it has to satisfy three conditions. The first condition is that the doctor has to clearly, in very common language, explain to the patient the risks that are associated with the procedure, like I said earlier. And the second condition is that the doctor has to inform the patient if there are any alternative procedures that are available. And number three, the doctor is under an obligation to explain every risk that is involved in each of the alternative procedures that he mentions to the patient. The law requires informed consent to be taken from the patient in this manner because the patient can know all the facts, the risks that are associated with every alternative procedure, and make an informed choice as to whether he wants to undergo a medical procedure or surgery and assume all of those risks that were explained by the doctor to him. Now, if the doctor does not obtain informed consent in this manner, which is mandated by the law, then the medical procedure or a surgery that is performed by the doctor amounts to assault, which is punishable under sections 351 and 352 of the Indian Penal Code, and the doctor will be fully held responsible under law for any complications or any injuries the patient may suffer as a result of this surgery or medical procedure. If a person believes that he is a victim of medical negligence and in order for him to make a claim for medical negligence in a court of law and to succeed in that claim, the person involved must prove the existence of four major elements that is laid down by the law. The first element is with respect to standard of care. Now, we all know that doctors are all human beings and the law does not expect them to be perfect. But the law mandates that doctors and medical professionals must take reasonable or minimum care and precaution at all times during the performance of medical procedure. Now, this minimum care that a doctor must take is what is called as medical standard of care in legal terms. Now, the second condition that the law lays down is the breach of this standard of care. Now, this breach of standard of care can happen in two different ways. The first way in which it can happen is when a doctor who is reasonably trained does something which he is not expected to do. And the second way in which this can happen is that when a doctor who is reasonably trained does not do something which he is expected to do in a given set of circumstances. So the standard of care that the doctor must take, which is called the medical standard of care, and the breach of this medical standard of care taken together amounts to negligence. Now, the third condition that is required to be proved is that the doctor's breach of standard of care must have directly resulted in the injury that is caused to the patient. Now, in many circumstances, it is very much possible that the doctor's breach of standard of care may not result in any injury to the victim. For example, we all know that the doctors, while performing medical procedure, need to wear latex gloves. So, not wearing these gloves is a clear violation of standard of care. But this not wearing of gloves may not result in any injury to the patient. But we also need to know that if by not wearing gloves, the doctor transfers any infection in his body to the body of the patient, then this is a clear case of medical negligence which causes injury to the victim because of the breach of the standard of care by the doctor. The fourth element that we are required to prove to a court of law is with respect to the compensation that the victim of medical negligence is entitled to. So here we need to explain to the court about the nature of our claim and the injuries that are suffered by the victim of medical negligence, and as to how these injuries suffered by the victim prevent him from earning his livelihood in future, and all other medical costs that are associated with treating these injuries that are suffered by the victim, and all other financial consequences of becoming a victim of medical negligence must be placed before the court, and the court will decide on the basis of these statements made by the victim the compensation that has to be given to the victim of medical negligence. The law provides three options to a victim of medical negligence to proceed against the doctor and to bring the doctor to justice for the breach of standard of care committed by him and for causing injury to the victim. Now, the first option the victim has is to file a complaint before the consumer court asking compensation from the doctor for the injuries that he has suffered. Now, the second option that is available to the victim is to initiate criminal action against the medical practitioner under section 304A of the Indian Penal Code and requesting the court to criminally hold him responsible for causing injury to the victim. Now, one factor which has to be noted before initiating criminal proceeding against a doctor is that criminal proceeding is only maintainable if the breach of standard of care has resulted in death of a victim. Now, if the breach of standard of care has not resulted in death and has only caused injuries to the victim, then criminal action is not maintainable against the doctor. Now, the third option that is available to the victim is to request the Medical Council of India or the state medical council, whichever is appropriate in the given set of circumstances, requesting the council to take disciplinary measures against the doctor who has breached the standard of care. Now, this could be done by the Medical Council of the state or Medical Council of India under the Professional Conduct and Ethics Code of 2002, and the Medical Council has even in many circumstances gone ahead and cancelled the license given to the medical professionals. So friends, this is the broad legal framework with respect to the principles governing medical negligence in India. So for any further information or queries, you can contact me on the number given in the description box. Please feel free to contact me. So thanks for watching my video. Please do subscribe to my channel if you like the video.